Good afternoon. Come on in. How is everyone doing? I just wanted to come have a conversation with you all and just talk to you all about the most important work you will ever do is the work that you do on yourself. A lot of us have not really taken the time out to do the work we need to do on ourselves. Okay. A lot of us have been taught to, pour out and give and sacrifice and do and help and protect and be there for and support and understand and forgive and do all these things, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, but a lot of us have been taught to do all these things for other people, okay, and not do them for ourselves. And we wonder why some of you all, well, I ain't gonna say we, I'm doing work on me. I'm gonna put this on y'all. And you all wonder why, you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with anxiety, you're dealing with, unbelief, you're dealing with mental illnesses, you're dealing with all of these things because you're not taking the time out to deal and do the work on yourself. You're not taking the time out to deal with yourself. You're not taking the time out to fill your own cup up. You're not taking the time out to unpack all of the traumas you have buried for years and years and years. You haven't dealt with your mommy issues. You haven't dealt with your daddy issues. You haven't dealt with abusive relationships from, grade school, relationships you shouldn't have been in, but you didn't know, you haven't dealt with any of that. You haven't dealt with, molestation in the family, someone touching on you and doing things to you you never told anyone. It is time to unpack that stuff. It's time to deal with it. You can't keep going on pretending like nothing happened. Having children, getting married, getting degrees, buying a home, buying a brand new car, doing all these wonderful things, traveling, doing all of those things is not going to make what you've got hidden in your spiritual closet go away. Doing all of those things and accomplishing all of those great things is not going to make what you have hidden, right, in the basement, right, of your heart, the basement of your mind. That's not going to take that's not going to remove it. It's not going to make it go away. You can suppress it, but let me tell you what's going to happen. Okay, when you suppress those issues, when you don't tell anyone, when you want to hide those issues, let me tell you what's going to happen. You could do all of those things and accomplish all of those things and pretend those things never happened. You know what's going to happen? Just because everything looks good on the outside, you're accomplishing so many things, you're doing well, you know what's going to happen? That suppression is going to turn into disease in your body. That depression is going to turn into disease in your body. You're going to start having diseases, okay, that are immune diseases. You're going to start developing all these different diseases in your blood, having blood issues, because this thing is spiritual, right? When you hide things and don't want to deal with it, and dealing with it just means you need to address it. You need to acknowledge that it happened to you. You need to say, you know what, this person did this to me and it was wrong. If you need to go confront them, go confront them. Ask them why, if they're still here. If they're not here, just process your emotions. Give yourself time to process emotions. Some of you all never processed grief. You never grieved over your loved ones. You wanted to pretend that things were okay and they're not okay. It's okay to grieve. You don't have to be this strong person. You don't have to be strong for everyone. I know there was a time I was going through a lot. In my relationships, with my children. I lost my sister, right? I lost my sister. I was dealing with my own stuff. And I took time. I removed myself from everybody and start dealing with myself, dealing with, the loss of my sister, dealing with the things that, transpired around that, dealing with, like a whole bunch of issues. I had to remove myself from people, places and things and deal with what I was going through. It's good to get it's good to go have a therapist to help you unpack, but sometimes you don't always need a therapist. You just need to pull back and deal with yourself, process things, pray. And that was the best thing I could have done for myself. The best thing I could have done for Monique was pull back from everything and everyone and just deal with me. Don't worry about no one else. People were going through things. Family members were going through things. I had to take care of myself. I had to deal with me, or I wouldn't be able to do and be good for my children. I wouldn't be able to take care of myself, right? I had to think about, okay, if something happens to me, who's going to be here to take care of my children the way I do? Anything could happen at any time, but during that time, if I was stressing and not taking care of myself, who was going to be here to take care of my kids? Who's going to be here to take care of them like I do? Because I know people, they'll say things and they won't live up to it. And there's not too many people I trust anyways to take care of my babies the way I would do it, and to love them unconditionally and not having an ill intent, right? So I said, you know what, Monique, you can't worry about what's going on with everybody else. You need to take care of yourself. You need to deal with your issues, deal with yourself, get through, process, and grieve, right? Grieve the loss of, your sister, grieve the loss of a relationship, grieve the loss of all kind of things I was going through. And I had to grieve that stuff and deal with it and realize that's life, okay? I had to really deal with and process so many things, and I didn't need anyone interrupting that because I needed that time for me. However long it took me to do, that's what I did. I didn't go to any funerals. If people died, I know I wasn't healthy enough to go to a funeral. I wasn't in the right space to attend a funeral. You have to know yourself. I got to know myself so well to the point where I know where I need to be and where I don't need to be. I know the places I need to go. I know I needed to go to those places, or the places I didn't need to go. And I didn't care who don't like it. I didn't care who talked about it. I didn't care who felt some type of way because I couldn't show up for them at that time. I had to show up for myself. I had to do the things for myself. I had to be there for me. I had to do those things that was going to get me to where I needed to be full, whole, and healthy in my emotions, in my mind, in my body, in my spirit. And I'm glad I took that time out. I had to do a lot of praying and fasting and journaling and just dealing with myself, unpacking and processing different things. That was the best thing I could have done for myself. I think that it took me a while. It took me a while to just process, like fully just focus on me. It was a while. It was some time. I couldn't be there for anyone else. And I felt good. I couldn't be there for people. I didn't want to be there for anyone else. I wasn't in the right space to be there because I was too busy putting back into me everything I have poured out. I didn't go to no, don't invite me to no, I didn't do no invitations. Only person or people that I took time out for were the people who was able to feed me spiritually. We were able to feed each other spiritually. That was my one good friend who invited me places because she knew that what I was going through, and she knew I needed to process things. And when I left her, I was edified. I wasn't weighed down more. She didn't dump on me. She didn't, I wasn't weighed down. I was edified and my spirit was lifted up. Going out to eat with some of my church members, like the, older church members, and being around like the small groups that the church I attend, that edified me. I needed that. That was feeding my spirit. That was part of the healing journey. And I knew where I should be and where I shouldn't be. I knew who was healthy and safe to be around and who was not healthy and safe to be around. And that's where most of you all have to get. Once you do the work on yourself, you will understand and you will learn. You will understand and you will learn what's safe and what's not safe. And it's okay. It is okay. That's part of life. You know why you are where you are. You know what you've done. Okay. You just know your situation. Let me just say that. You know your situation. And it's okay. It's okay to do the work. Don't feel bad because things didn't go as you thought they would go. That's life. You can't control, you only can control yourself. Let me tell you that. You only can control yourself. I had to realize I only can control myself. And that is the only person, self is the only person I know I could change. Look, self is the only person I know I could change. You can't change anyone else, okay? So what I did was, because I don't like to be controlled. I don't like to be down in spirits, because that's not who I am. You see, I'm vibrant and bubbly and upbeat, okay? I like to be in good spirits, okay? I like to enjoy the moment. That's just who I like to enjoy the moment. I like to be in, I like to just be in the moment. I like to have fun and laugh. I like to go to different places. I just like living good. Let me just say that. I just like living good. I've always liked living good. But what kept me from living good, let me tell y'all. What kept me from living good, because I was unhealed. Okay? I was unhealed. And when you're unhealed, you tend to draw unhealed people. You hang around unhealed people. You are afraid. I was afraid to remove myself from people who didn't bring good energy around. I like enjoying people. I like enjoying people. I like letting people be themselves. I know my limits. I know what I'm going to do, and I know what I'm not going to do, right? So I don't try to force people to do what it is that I do or what I believe, because I know what I'm going to do and I know what I'm not going to do. I could hang around any group of people for a little bit. It depends on what they're doing, but I know that I'm going to do certain things, and I'm not going to let them influence me. Now, if it's too crazy, I know not to even put myself in the situation. But I just like having fun. I like enjoying people, talking. I like that community, right? I like community, and I like mingling. That's just a gift of mine. I like going to different places and different events and just meeting people, because it does my spirit good. And that's what I like doing. So when you start your healing journey, and when you start realizing the things that you need to address and deal with, it's going to make your life so much easier. It's going to make your life so much easier and happier. You're going to start looking different, because you're not going to be frustrated and stressed out. I lived a lot of years in frustration, right? I lived a lot of years in unnecessary frustration, because I had a people-pleasing spirit. I just had that people-pleasing spirit because I was unhealed, right? I'm going to be honest. And I lived a lot of years in frustration because, and even in that, I still tried to find joy. Okay? That's the thing. One thing about a person who just got a good spirit, it's hard to keep them down. And see, the things that keep the good spirited people down are the people who are jealous of that, who don't have good energy and good spirit. So they want to kind of zap out that little light in you, right? They want to zap out that little light in you by saying little slick things, by criticizing you, by, saying things to try to get under your skin. But when you got the light, you just got the light. When you're happy and joyous, you're going to find something to be joyous about, right? You're going to find something to be thankful about. Once you realize who you are, it'll be hard for people to bring you down. And that ought to tell you something right there. That ought to tell you something. If you are just a person just bubbly and bright, or you're positive, and you always got somebody, the same person, who's trying to bring you down, that tells you already are above them. You already have something that they want, but they don't have it, and they want to bring you down to their level. So the best thing to do for those type of people is exclude yourself, or don't deal with them. Don't deal with them. Confront them. And if they don't stop doing what they're doing, just don't deal with them. You don't have to hate them. Just don't deal with them. But I just wanted to come share that with you all. Just come and try to encourage you all to just deal with you. Focus on your healing. Don't give out what you're not giving to yourself. Don't pour out of your cup. Don't pour out of your cup the things that you don't have. Your cup should be filled, and then everyone else should get what's overflowing out of that cup. You keep your cup filled, right? You can't see through this, but you keep your cup filled, and whatever is overflowing out of the cup, that's what you give to people.